Good evening. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the South Haven City Council for Monday, May the 20th, 2019. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And at this time, I would like to, let's see, Father here, we'll observe a moment of silence, please. Thank you. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Travis.
Chris Campbell, Clark Gruber,
Here.
Joe Reeser, here. Steve Schlock,
Here.
George Sleeper,
Here.
Letitia Wilkins,
Here.
Scott Smith.
Here.
Make a motion that we excuse Councilmember Campbell.
Second. Motion and second to excuse Councilmember Campbell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, he's excused. And before I forget, just to let folks know, we are having a little trouble with our cable tonight. The web streaming service is down, so we will be recording it and you'll be able to download and stream it in the next few days. So just so you're aware. And at this time, we have Sheriff Daniel Abbott is in the room with us, and I'm going to have him come up and just give us an update. He is covering a lot of ground right now. He's trying to get in early so he can head to Bangor. So, Sheriff, thank you for, as always, being present with us and keeping an eye on us. So,
appreciate that.
Good evening.
I didn't want anything in general. Since taking office, what I do every year, about this time of the year, is I go around, I hit every city, village, and township, just to see if you folks are happy, if you want to see anything different coming from our office, or if you had any questions or concerns on your end. When I started doing this last year and again this year, when I started this year, I made 2.5 pages of what we've accomplished since taking office, and it looked more like a campaign speech than going around just touching base with you folks. So that wound up in the trash can, so I just come to these, and basically here I am if you have any questions. Give me a call anytime. I answer my emails, I answer my phone calls, my secretary get it to me. Since taking office, I've answered every email or any phone call that's ever come to my office for me. It may take me a day or two to get back to you, but I reassure you I will get back to you.
No, that's great. Thank you. Any questions? Anybody up here? I'll just say thank you. And having been doing this for a few years now, I mean, you've been more present than anyone I've ever known. So I appreciate you being here and just being available and coming to meetings and coming to events. And Sesquicentennial, and you name it, I've seen you there, so thank you, it's noted.
No, I appreciate it, and that was one of the things I swore to people, if you put me in that sheriff's seat, that you will see me out in the public. You invite me, I go to events. This actually, by the time I hit Friday, 13 out of the last 15 evenings I've been at some kind of event or function, so I don't want to let anybody down, but there again, unless I'm out actually dealing with the community and talking to folks, I don't know what their questions or concerns are, so I'm out there. There's a few changes that you guys will see coming with our office. We're getting ready to retire one of our canines. We've got a young pup that's actually a week old. We're going to call it what's a PR dog for us. It's just going to be a single purpose dog that'll be going into the schools. I don't know if you folks realize or not, but I've been going into the schools on a regular basis throughout the county, reading to little kids, talking with children that are struggling with their family life. And I just thought that would be a good tool to get into schools. Along with it, still being able to sniff marijuana. A lot of law enforcement agencies are going away from that because it's legal. However, it's still, kids are going to bring that stuff to school, and if we don't have a dog in this southwestern Michigan that'll hit on it, I think we're missing the picture. So we're going to have that, and it'll be a nice, friendly dog. It's going to be a dog that we're going to bring in the office on a regular basis, daily basis, and just be a dog that we can do that with. And we're sending a guy here in 3 weeks out to Pittsburgh, a new handler, that will be getting a dog after 6 weeks. Will come back certified. I believe you guys just got a dog from the same kennel out there. So
Very good. Again, thank you, and thank your family for letting you out all these nights too.
thank you. If you guys want me to stick around, I can stick around. If you don't, then I'm going to go hit another meeting and I can knock 2 out tonight.
All right.
How's that?
We'll give permission. Go for it.
Everyone's trying to get out of here tonight. What's that about?
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, Sheriff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda and a discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The agenda is approved. Thank you. Consent agenda, items A through D.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda, items A through D.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote.
Gruber,
Yes.
Reeser,
Yes.
Schlock,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Wilkins,
yes,
Smith.
Yes. Item 7, City Council will be asked to host a public hearing for the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget. Just need a motion to open that.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
Motion and second to open the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's open. Brian?
Members of council, for the last several months, the city staff has been working with the city council on the development and the posting of the draft budget. Our little 3.5 square miles in the upcoming fiscal year, your total operating budget will knock on just about $40 million. That does account for our general fund, but it also is largely bolstered by our marina operations, our water operations, sanitary sewer operations, and the electric operations. Any member of the public can find a copy of the budget document. It's right on the city's website at south-haven.com. But should anyone have a need for greater assistance, a hard copy, they can reach out to my office and we'll happily provide them with one. In addition to the budget document, we have a variety of non-road and roaded capital improvement maps that show the planned improvements for the fiscal year, which begins July 1st, and it'll be the 1920 fiscal year. The reason for tonight's public hearing is it is charter-driven. The City Council to formally adopt a city budget, it's a 3-step process. Last meeting was step 1, tonight is step 2, and then the real meat will be at the first meeting in June, where there will be a variety of resolutions that the council will be asked to consider as part of the formal budget adoption. Mr. Mayor, are there any questions?
Nope, that's perfect. So they get online, or if they need it, they can call, come down, paper copy at City Hall. So
Yep, 0750, you just dial 637-0750. Either myself or Travis will happily give out a hard copy if it's needed.
I get it. And thanks for mentioning the road plan. I think those are nice to see. We field phone calls sometimes on when's my road coming. Those maps do a nice job of showing where we've been, where we're going. So, all right, any public comments at this time? Seeing none, how about a motion to close this?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
All right, motion second, or sorry.
Second.
Motion second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Public hearing is closed. Item 8, City Council will be asked to consider the following actions related to the zoning ordinance procedural amendment. Here again, we need to host a public hearing on the proposed zoning ordinance amendment.
Make a motion to open the public hearing on the proposed zoning ordinance amendment.
Second.
Motion second to open a public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It is open. All right, Brian.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is really the definition of a procedural cleanup. Over the last 6 months, the city's zoning board of appeals and planning commission were asked to consider a use variance. Planning commission sent a site plan to our zoning board of appeals, at which time a use variance was granted. Ultimately, that wound up in court, and as the litigation was pursued, the developer's interest in the property fell apart. As we went through that process, it was determined that to be compliant with the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, the local zoning ordinance needs to require to establish a use variance, a 2/3 vote of the members of the ZBA must be considered or must be approved to successfully pass a use variance. We don't have that language built into our code. As we went through prepping for litigation, we were determined that we were not in compliance with the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. We worked with both the Zoning Board of Appeals as well as the Planning Commission to put together language that would correct that. For tonight, we are bringing you a very simple change. It's an insertion of the 2/3 requirement for any future use variances. It's a simple change, but it's one that's important. It gets us compliant with the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. Staff strongly recommends the approval of this as it's written.
Sounds good. Anybody from the public like to weigh in on this topic? Very exciting stuff. All right, seeing none,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
sounds good.
Second.
Motion second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It is closed. Thank you. Next, City Council will be asked to consider a motion to approve the zoning ordinance amendment as presented.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the zoning ordinance amendment as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any council discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. It is approved. Which takes us to item 9. City Council will be asked to consider approval of the following special event applications. Item A is special event 2019-14, the Memory Lane Tour, to be held on August the 24th, 2019, from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. at the Huron Street Pavilion. Special event fee waiver request has been submitted.
I'll make a motion to approve special event 2019-14.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second to approve. I don't know, Brian, you want to give us a quick explanation? We've all
Sure.
read it, but
All right, so members of council, this is a new event. It's one that has not been held on city property before. LifeBridge Church is proposing the Memory Lane Tour. The intent is for the church to host an event from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the Huron Street Pavilion on the 24th. The church has described this as a benefit concert to raise awareness of the growing epidemic of Alzheimer's and dementia, and how it's affecting the community. This concert will also raise awareness of how music can help to stimulate the cognitive memory and help with these conditions. City staff has reviewed the event application, has expressed no concerns. I'm not sure if there is anyone from LifeBridge. We do have one gentleman here from LifeBridge. Very good. Would you like to share anything about it?
I would.
Oh, come on up, just state your name and address and share away.
Ron Slazak, representative of LifeBridge Church. It is to raise awareness of Alzheimer's and dementia, which many of us have probably been touched at some point in our life. I personally have, so this goes beyond community for me. It has a personal effect. But also, any proceeds that we gain from this are going to go back to two patients. I'm trying to be careful as to how I labeled that. In a local nursing home, we will be purchasing MP3 players and then uploading music from their genre. And it's been proven that it helps stimulate memories and helps these people feel alive again. So if it's any small thing that we can do to help these people improve their quality of life, we feel compelled to do so.
That's cool, very nice.
Thank you for
Very
your
nice,
time.
thank you. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else have any questions?
It looks like we've got live music amplification, but it's gonna be done by 9 and it's in the pavilion and, you know.
Looks good. No other questions? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second to approve special event 2019-14, the Memory Lane Tour. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's approved. Thanks again for coming. Appreciate it. Next, reimbursement of the special event fee for the previous approved special event 2018-42, Pause in the Parade Furry 5K. You just need a motion to approve it again? Okay, gotcha. I just need a motion to approve that reimbursement.
I'll make a motion that we approve the waiver reimbursement request for special event 2018-42, the Alvan Furry 5K.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to waive that fee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's approved. Thanks. Item 10, if the council is willing, I will read through this slate of names, and then if we have some questions, we can hold to the end and look for one motion to approve that slate. It's agreeable? Perfect. So we have Bob Stickland to the Board of Public Utilities for a 5-year term, Mark Dibble to the Construction Board of Appeals for a 5-year term, Sally Newton to the Downtown Development Authority for a 4-year term, Andrea Olson to the Downtown Development Authority for a 4-year term, Ashley Deming to the Harbor Commission for a 3-year term, Tom Reinick to the Harbor Commission for a 3-year term. Joan Hiddem to the Liberty Hyde Bailey Museum Board for a 3-year term. Marge Lamp to the Library Board for a 5-year term. Bob Stickland to the South Haven Water Sewer Authority for a 4-year term. Dave Miller to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 3-year term. And Tom Fleming to the LDFA / Brownfield Authority for a 4-year term. I'll just say thank you to all of them for volunteering their time. So we'll start with that. Any questions on any of these folks? I think applications are all in there in the packet. All right, just look for a motion to approve that slate.
I'll make a motion to appoint the following individuals as read, with one correction of Tim Reinick, not Tom Reinick.
Did I say Tom?
Yes.
Don't wave those glasses at me, that's all I gotta say.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. Item 11, City Council will be asked to consider a motion to approve the agreement between the City of South Haven, the South Haven Center for the Arts, and the Detroit Institute of Art for the placement of the Inside Out art display on city property. And we have a special guest this evening who's here to share with us more about so.
Yes, I'm Carrie Hagee, the Executive Director of the South Haven Center for the Arts. Thank you for having me here again. I introduced you to this project at the last council meeting, and we're just excited to move forward with the city and the Detroit Institute of Art to bring art to South Haven.
That's awesome, great, thank you.
Members of the council, what you're looking at is a proposal where we partner up with the Center for the Arts and the DIA, the Detroit Institute of Arts. The intent is to have art reproductions placed in a variety of public locations across the city of South Haven. If approved, as early as late this week, you can see the installations beginning to be placed. The intent is to have them spread over numerous locations as laid out in the packet. Thank you in the back. Up on the overhead screen, you can see images of the proposed art. And Carrie, did we settle on 10 locations?
Yes, 10 locations in the city and then 5 private property locations.
So in accepting this, this arrangement, the city is fully insured by the DIA. The DIA and South Haven Center for the Arts understands that there's the potential, the damage, that vandalism could occur. Under the terms of the agreement, if we report damage or vandalism, etc., the organizations will take steps to come out and either replace or repair whatever is on site. I believe the intent is to go until November.
Yes.
And city staff has been working directly with Carrie on just finalizing some of the location, the specific spots where some of these will be placed, and in an effort to ensure that we don't get any complaints that we're blocking views or anything like that. Now, with that said, I think this is really creative and it should make for an interesting summer. There will be information on the displays where you can read about the history of the artwork. So it should be something that is very new for us and should be a very cool event.
It's a neat idea. You have a little map to cruise around town, which is great.
Now, are there going to be like information on the back side of these, or maybe a QR code that somebody could use their phone and learn about that particular piece of art?
There is a map, and they have a digital map and the printed map, and the DIA has I think it does.
I'd like a
connect
link
to the
that you can
digital.
learn more about this particular piece of art.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Are these all previously displayed artwork?
They're from the collection of the Detroit Institute of Art, so they're reproductions. There's Van Gogh and different things. So I believe that they have installed these same pieces in this same project where they did it within Detroit and the surrounding area. But this is the first time that it's been over on our side of the state.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, how about if I take a motion to approve this? Thank you, Carrie, appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement between the City of South Haven, the South Haven Center for the Arts, and the Detroit Institute of Art for the placement of the Inside Out art display on city property.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve that agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, it is approved. Thank you. Thanks again for coming and sharing that. That's great. Next item, City Council will be asked to consider the following actions related to a proposed local agency pavement warranty program. Item A, approval of Resolution 2019-22, a resolution adopting the local pavement warranty program and its accompanying documents.
I'll make a motion, the city council approve resolution 2019-22, a resolution adopting the local pavement warranty program.
Second.
All right, motion and second. Brian, we need road warranties?
Yeah, so this is one that we can spend 20 minutes talking about, or I can just tell you that as part of state law, we now have to have a pavement warranty program in place. It's pretty simple. It's a pavement warranty program that aligns with the state of Michigan's requirements. So on a going forward basis, this will just be built into our professional agreements with any future contractors working in the area. Bill has spent quite a bit of time on the public works side of the house, getting the two resolutions ready for the council. I'm going to look back at Bill and see if there's anything he wishes to add.
Brian couldn't have said it any better. Your big thing, if you notice on here, it says that you're gonna need to have at least $2 million worth of pavement in a project. So when is this actually gonna happen? It's very rare you have $2 million worth of pavement, not the entire project. So it's required that we pass it, but who knows, maybe there's a project in the future we could partner with where this will be required, so. It's good logical boiler points, a lot of them are used. I don't know exactly the pretense of the law, why it was enacted, but I can see probably maybe over the whole state of Michigan, there are probably some local agencies that didn't have the means, and this gives them something to enact a warranty to help them in the future. But we've had pretty good specs here in the city of South Haven, so.
I was saying, our local projects, we have engineers, we go through, we check roads, we check soil boring, so that's being done already. This is the state requirement, so.
As you look through tonight's consent agenda, it was complete information overkill, but just so that the public has an understanding of how decisions are made, we actually included the soils reports in tonight's bid spec. And if you want, you can spend hours looking at images of the actual borings that were taken on the planned pavement work. And that was for, I want to say, about $250,000 asphalt overlay. Relatively simple job, but our in-house engineering takes this stuff seriously, and it wants to ensure that the HMA mix that is selected will last, and they do take it seriously. But jumping back to why you're being asked to consider these resolutions, because state funding is important, and if you choose not to adopt the pavement warranty program, potentially we could have some withholdings on future asphalt dollars coming from the state of Michigan.
Let's get it approved. Sounds good. All right, we have a motion and a second. Brian, thank you for the update. Bill, thank you. Any public questions on this one? Nothing. Council comments on this one? Nothing. All right, motion and a second to approve resolution 2019-22. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It is approved. Next item, approval of resolution 2019-23. The follow-up item, this is a resolution implementing a local pavement warranty program that defines the city's intent to apply the warranty program consistent with the local agency pavement warranty guidelines.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-23.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any other questions? I think Brian's explained it quite well. Public comments? No. Council comments? No. Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's approved. Thank you. Next, City Council will be asked to consider approval of Resolution 2019-24, a resolution of support for the proposed I-196 Business Loop Broadway LaGrange Street Road Diet.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-24, a resolution of support of the proposed I-196 Business Loop. That's the Broadway to LaGrange Street Road Diet.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Brian, it feels like we've been here before.
Yes, we have. And as you read through the staff report, it's hard not to pick up on a little bit of frustration starting to kind of creep through in staff's language. We have been working on this as a community, as staff, as elected officials, and as volunteers for a number of years. And unfortunately, we thought we were in the 9th inning and just about ready to get this this plan enacted, and unfortunately some decision makers with MDOT have come back to us saying we need a little bit more information. One of the things that they wanted was this resolution, which formally commits what the council has already formally committed multiple times over, which is a strong interest in moving forward with the lane diet on Broadway. And unfortunately that wasn't enough for MDOT, so we're doing exactly what MDOT has said. And we are going to, as staff, continue pushing MDOT very actively to say, hey, we have tried to meet every request for information with very clear information. We will just continue doing that. But as staff, I can tell you at this moment, I don't know when we'll be actually putting down these lanes. I hope that it's in the coming months. And all we can do is continue following up with MDOT and making the case for why this makes sense.
Sounds good. Any public questions?
I just comment.
Come. Just state your name and address and chat.
Hi, I'm Wendy Onuki, 315 Prospect Street. I just wanted to say that I am very much in favor of this lane diet. As someone with small children who regularly travels across Broadway and feels very unsafe doing so, I think it would just be really helpful and an amazing addition to our community, and I know a lot of neighbors who feel the same way. So we would love to see it happen and support it in any way possible. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
I can also state, living in that same neighborhood, not only am I stopped on the street and gotten emails to send to all of us, people were really looking to see this as a project to help with crossing that street, slowing the traffic down, and hopefully improving the business atmosphere of that road. And I know staff has been frustrated too, because they've been ready. And then this week, MDOT decides to put in some more cutting of the road. Do we know that if we repaint it and it's going very successful, then they decide to come in and start cutting up the road again? Will they help us repaint it?
No, they won't.
Okay.
But we as staff are committed. We have done Planning Commission, Parks Commission, DDA, City Council multiple times, neighborhood groups, multiple presentations on the city's website. We're going to continue pushing this. And to follow up on Wendy's point, I'm in the same boat. I live on the east side of Broadway. I've got 3 kids that walk across the street all the time. I see the value. When the street was designed in 1967, it absolutely made sense to move as much traffic as possible. And we have now worked with outside engineering, 2 different engineering firms, multiple traffic studies to show that the amount of pavement that is out there no longer meets the needs of this community. And to ensure that our pedestrians living on the east side of town are as safe as possible, shrinking the total number of vehicle lanes does make sense. And being completely honest, we will likely get complaints from people who are used to driving fast because they have 5 lanes to work with. I'm fully expecting those complaints, and I feel the response is pretty simple. Yeah, you will drive a bit slower, but we have done modeling going out 25 years and found that the amount of lost time is seconds, not minutes, not hours. And the improvement for pedestrian safety will be great. So with all that said, tonight's resolution, I know it feels redundant, but it is a requirement coming from MDOT, and we will continue trying to advance this issue.
Even when MDOT took off the one light there at Center Street, they have no idea at all how that changed the foot traffic. And it was designed there when there was a school, but once they took it away, it makes it even tougher, even as an adult. So thank you for everything that we've been doing.
At this point, I would think time is of the essence. I would think we would want to get this done as soon as possible, once school's out, so that people have a chance to get used to this before school starts again.
Our intent was, I want to say, close to 3 months ago, we asked council for approval to take this thing out to bid. The intent was to have it done during the school year, prior to Memorial Day, so that you give everyone a lengthy opportunity to get used to the different traffic patterns. What we can't do is we can't implement this on July 1 and think it's going to work well.
No,
But-
I think time is of the essence, and
Yeah.
I'd like that put in the record, please. Thank you.
Sounds good. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2019-24. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, it's approved. Next, City Council, we ask to consider approval of Resolution 2019-25, a resolution to declare intent to issue bonds and publish notice of intent to issue bonds.
So I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2019-25, which is a resolution to issue a notice of intent to issue Downtown Development Authority bonds.
Second?
Motion and second.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
This is for the reconstruction of Center Street within the downtown. The council is not being asked to issue any debt today. The council is not being asked to take any formal action related to that project. What the council is being asked to do is provide this notice to the public. It will open up a 90-day period when any member of the public can express concerns about the reconstruction of Center Street. It's a requirement for the use of this type of debt that we have a 90-day comment period. The reason that we're doing it today is that our intent is to start that project just after Labor Day. Well, for us to make that work, we've got to get the public comment period started now to ensure that we can move forward with the letting of the project and the issuance of the bonds to construct that street. I'm not sure what else I can add in
No,
that.
it's good.
Okay.
We're getting ready to fix a road. That's good. That the public should be aware it's coming, so that's good stuff. Are there any public questions on this? Council, questions on this?
Is there any intent to or need to have any special assessments done for this project?
No, the Downtown Development Authority, we have not used special assessments. The DDA has provided through their TIF funding the offsetting costs for the water and sewer. Additionally, with this project, we anticipate up to $800,000 in grant funding to help with the streetscape items, the above the surface work. And then further, we anticipate between $1 million and $1.5 million worth of grant, specifically loan forgiveness funding, coming from the state's drinking water fund and state revolving fund. The remaining debt will be serviced through long-term debt carried by the Downtown Development Authority.
So no raising of taxes and no special assessments seen at this point.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a great example of going out and finding money. I mean, really, this is a great example. Good
Right.
work. I mean, that's to be noted, so thank you for all that work. All right, if we've got no other questions, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2019-25. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, it is approved. Let's get some bonds. Next, citizens in the audience will be heard on items not on the agenda. Gail, stuck it out.
Hello, I'm Gail Patterson Gladney, and there's a lot going on in the county, and I could go on and on with 100 different items, but you'll be glad to know I'm just going to point out a few things. Before I do that, I just want to give my condolences to the Wilkins family at the loss of our city councilwoman's mother-in-law and Pastor Joe Wilkins' mom, Shirley Wilkins. So I just wanted to give you that. Okay, new Covert generating. The commissioners and Covert Township agreed to appeal the decision of the Michigan Tax Tribunal for the tax year 2016 to the Michigan Court of Appeals. This has been going on for quite a long time. I don't know if you have been following along with the new culvert generating. But new culvert generating is also contesting the taxable value of their property for 2017 and 18. But this appeal is only for 2016. The 2018 audit showed that the county is in sound financial condition, and the document showed a fund balance of a little over $7,349, and which is 28.5% of the county's total expenditures of approximately $26 million. So 20% is required or recommended minimum portion of fund balance compared to annual expenditures. And so the county's doing quite well there. We have planning commissioners that have been appointed: Celinda Gilmore, Scott Cedarquist, and Ray Martin as Van Buren County Planning Commissioners for terms expiring April 1st, 2022. And then the North Point property, the county administrator was given permission to contact the Department of Natural Resources, indicating the county's interest in exploring the option of leasing the North Point parcels to the state. So we're waiting to hear back from that. Just a little information from AAA, which is Area Agency on Aging. There is a Sounds Good choir coming to St. Joe. And the Campus for Creative Aging, which is part of AAA, has announced a new initiative, and it is a choir for senior citizens, 55 and over. If any of you are interested in singing, some of you aren't old enough, I think, but it doesn't matter if you can sing or not. You can come and be a part of this. They will be performing in St. Joe and in Chicago, and there is a fee of $99 for different costs, but there are scholarships available. So I'm going to give this to Brian in case anyone is interested in that. And we also have different websites that seniors might be interested in. Seniors and caregivers, I get quite a few questions on how do we care for our loved ones who are seniors. And so I'm going to give these two papers to you too, in case you get any inquiries about caring for the aged. I know you are interested in economic development, and I just want to let you know that Connexus every week sends us job openings, and they're for Berrien, Cass, and Van Buren County. So this is at the library. Every week we print them off, and we always get someone who comes in and wants a copy. So this is just an example. And one of the last things I wanted to mention about Hartford, and I'm sure that some of you already know about the PFAS that was found at the old Duwell plant. And they have done testing for wells that are around that site, and as of now, I don't think the results have come back, but they have been handing out bottled water. In case any of the public are interested in knowing more about PFAS, or any of the council people, there's information for you. And lastly, I gave out this little booklet, and if you just take a few minutes to look through it, I think it's very important, because sometimes you can't find what you need on our website easily, let's say that. And this makes it pretty simple for you. If you have residents who are interested in getting copies, just let me know. And this is your tax dollars at work, so it's put out by our county clerk. And do you have any questions? No? Okay.
Thanks for the update. All right. Public Works Director, what, anybody else? Sorry. Bill, come on up. No one else was running up here, sorry, I'm not making sure. Bill, thank you. Come on up.
Good evening, Your Honor, council members. Just going to provide a brief update on what's happening in DPW project-wise. Cemetery improvements, that project is about 85% complete. It's still gonna look like a substantial completion of June 30th this year. Splash pad, last meeting of the Parks Commission, they selected actually a site, and they also selected an amenities package. Our next plan is to present this to actually the Planning Commission. After that, then it goes out for bids. We're still looking at a substantial completion of 12/31/19 actually as the project timeline goes. Just earlier in this meeting, we had a resolution for the road diet. April 19th is actually when I received the email from MDOT where they gave us 8 additional items to process. These 8 additional items would added another 12 to 14 weeks. We had several meetings with them face to face, and we called them courtesy reviews, and there were no courtesy about them. At that time, that's when they should have said to me, this is what's required. I am very disappointed, that's all I can say about that. Safe Routes to School is still planned. We're looking at a winter of 2019 grant submission in the summer of 2020. Phase Kids Corner, Phase 1 Kids Corner, that is out for bids. And we're looking at a completion of July to August timeframe of 2019. Kids Corner Phase 2, we haven't heard back from that grant application, but that's maybe the first of many. And that's to replace the whole structure. 76th project is still underway. Substantial completion is June 30th of this year. Core Phase 4, again, June 30th this year. Huron Street project, that's a small underground project on Huron Street from school just to probably about 30 feet west of Center. That still looks like a completion of June 30th of this year. Engineering, the design for 8th Street is 100% complete, and everything is in the MDOT. Looking at the fall of this year for that. Staff is working on proposals to clean the pond at the DPW building and the Veterans Detention Pond. South Beach staff is planning on building those E-walls and existing concrete to save. Dumpster enclosure on Water Street, Compton's has that, and that's installing, they said spring, but it'll probably be first part of summer. Illuminated W11-2 signs that are, we're installing those at the blue stairs. We have the bases and they're ready to be put up. Those are the ones that I'm still hopeful we'll have actually in the road diet. These are the ones that look like the W11, the pedestrians, except they're activated and they illuminate. I still strongly believe actually that those would help LaGrange, but I'm not getting the feedback that I would like from MDOT on that. Let's see here. We have Pearl Street and pavement improvements. The DPW building are 100% designed, and that was actually on the consent agenda. Staff is working on design of Hubbard Street and plans to go out for bid at the end of this May with a anticipated July-August timeframe. HydroCorp continues to do cross-connection commercial and residential customers inspections. That'll be the new normal. That's going to just keep happening. Once we get through everybody in 10 years, it's going to start back over again. So staff is working on water system material inventory for DEQ due January 1 of 2020. That's a material inventory of all of our service lines, water lines in the street, and that's to DEQ. Once that gets complete, it's a requirement to DEQ. We're going to have to send letters to everybody who now has now has a lead service, because actually the definition of lead service changed in 2016. Now that there's ever had any lead, like called a lead gooseneck, it's the water main, and there's a pliable lead pipe used, and it's usually about 2 feet, and they tied it onto a galvanized pipe which crosses all the way over into the terrace or up to the sidewalk. They call that whole thing a lead service now. So when we get the material list done, I have to send letters to everybody, in which I will carefully craft with probably the help of somebody to help craft it, because there's going to be a lot of alarms going on with that. Staff is working on the sample site locations for lead and copper samples as well, and that's again due to the changes. A lot of the previous sample sites we have we can no longer use. They all have to be galvanized services. So I'm here to answer any questions that city council might have on any of these projects. Or anything else going on in DPW.
Just regarding the high water levels with the waste treatment plant and all the money that was put into that, any problems with any overflows or anything?
Oh, no, actually, the equalization chamber, that's worked out great, actually. We just used it at the rain event, last week. We had all those rains the last couple of weeks. Dave used it. What it does, it diverts everything into the equalization chamber, so Dave can slowly let it back in. So, no, we haven't with that. That's been
Good news.
money well spent.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, just to follow up on that statement, what the director is talking about is almost like a pond. It's built adjacent to the wastewater treatment plant. And when that pond is being used, when you see water in it, you are seeing staff keeping sanitary sewer flow from entering the Black River. It's a huge deal that that pond is being used successfully for decades. In high rain events, we could not keep up with the flow. It would go directly into the Black River. This is a big deal.
Very good. Bill, on the Hubbard Street design, does that include that dead end section of Hubbard Street that goes to that little bridge that crosses over the ravine, or is it just the part that's?
I think part of it's Michigan,
Hmm.
Michigan and Prospect, maybe. There's a little itty bitty piece back there, and I think it,
I'd have to double check.
and I think it does.
I'd have to double check the map to make sure on that.
I think George is referring to the section that would be on the left, or I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
the other side.
Gosh, what is that direction? Is that the north
North,
side of Phoenix?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to, I would like to check the map first and get back with you.
Okay.
I'll get an email prepared to send to Brian and give the descriptions of everything.
I noticed that new house got probably some water and some sewer connected to it, and they tore up the road, and the other day when you guys patched the road, it was noticeable. Like, it's really nice. And I know we're gonna tear it up in X number of months, but, you know, having driven around that thing for I don't know how many weeks, and then all of a sudden it was fixed, it's like, wow, this is what the road's gonna look like in, you know, 6 or 7 months or whatever. It's pretty nice.
A lot of the good thing that we have in this plan actually is not just mill and fills, because mill and fills are great, don't get me wrong, but we have some Cape Seals planned. What the Cape Seals are gonna do is take those roads that are, let's say, Pacer rating. You rate a road from 10 being at its best and 1 being at its worst. So a Pacer rating of a 6 or 7, you put a nice Cape Seal on it, and you can add another 10 years. You can bump that road out, and that's what we have with this plan. We have some Cape Seals involved, and I think that's a very smart move.
I will say all the trees we planted on the north side and the south side, looking every year, getting bigger, looking better, so all those projects they look nice, and I don't envy your staff trying to chase the high water levels with the beach cleaners and everything else this year. Wow.
We were just talking about that earlier today, about some of the water levels over by the ex-mayor's house, where you could actually see it right in the catch basins in Allen Avery Park. It's right there. What that's doing to those catch basins in those areas, it surges and eats away all the mortar in there and just deteriorates them and causes them to drop. So while this water level surges and goes in there, it's not good, but it's we can't raise the outfall because our whole system is designed. So it's hard to explain to somebody when they live by there, so.
No, very good. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. City manager comments.
So this is just a quick reminder to the public, also to council, that the Memorial Day Parade is this coming Monday. The parade is set to run from 9 a.m. until approximately 11 a.m. And they will be following the traditional route, which is Kalamazoo Street to Phoenix Street down to Bailey, and then into the city's cemetery. But I would encourage anyone who's desirous of being part of it, they can contact Mr. Stan Wakefield at the American Legion. And Stanley has been in charge of the parade for a number of years, and he's always does a really nice job. I would encourage the council, if you've got a few minutes, come out and take a look at it. George's probably got the best spot to watch the parade. In addition to that, we do have local residents who will be doing the reading the names from the front yard at City Hall. Mr. Mayor, are there any questions? No, members of council? We're good. Okay, those are my comments, sir.
Very good, thank you. All right, City Council, Mr. Reeser, I'll start with you.
I would just like to compliment all the volunteers who helped make our 150-year anniversary a success. I think they were looking for 1,000 people, and if the number of hot dogs that were given away is any indication, it was 1,300. So a lot of people in the town came out. It was nice that the mayor recognized the people that have been living in this town for many, many years, and they stood up. So that was nice. It was just a very happy, good time, and I like seeing all the old photographs hanging up. That was great. I just came from a meeting where Brian and I had to leave early, but it was about the possibility of Boys Club here. And not only did I get a little idea of what it's about, because I was not familiar with it, but I was so overly impressed with the director and the people in that room who sincerely care about the children and the youth in this town. It was really uplifting to see such a meeting. So I'm hoping it can go forward. Thanks.
As we approve the various commission and board appointments, I just wanted to thank all those people that volunteer their time to serve on boards and commissions, and it's really, it's a lot of work, and a lot of people have been doing it for a long time, and I really want to thank them for that. I'm also excited about, as we progress closer on the Center Street improvements. I think that's really going to be nice.
I wasn't able to attend the 150th. I heard a lot of positive things from so many different people all over the city. And one of the shout outs, I think someone had mentioned just the city staff that were there, and just thought it was like amazing PR of seeing individuals working really hard who, you know, have to be there, and said it was pretty amazing. So a good shout out to not only the volunteers, but also the many staff members who didn't know that that was going to be what their day was going to consist of, but it was good to see. That's it.
No comments.
No comment.
Very good. All right, I'll just echo, yes, sesquicentennial planning committee, volunteers, city staff, just the community for coming out. It was fantastic. A lot of fun, a lot of take-homes. One was there were very few cell phones out that day. It was very nice. People were just talking to each other, which was kind of fun. And hopefully we can do something like that again. Not the 150 one, but another picnic. Boards and commissions, again, I agree. Just thanks for everyone. Thanks for even the council. We've spent a lot of time and effort up here, so just thanks for your dedication to what we're doing. One little funny from the sesquicentennial is somebody saw the story, and I get an email from somebody who I haven't seen since I was about 7 years old. I played hockey with. He saw the story and said, "Are you the same Scott Smith that you had played hockey with in Lansing?" So it's kind of a funny, as a result of that sesquicentennial. Ran into an old friend from a few years back. I won't tell how many years ago it was, but all right. So thanks again to everybody that participated. So happy holidays, and I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thanks.